Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde, Shooter Hunt, and Phil Kerber here with the latest episode of Coffee and Curveballs. We got Kerber joining us today because, Kerber, you had a couple of preseason events over the weekend in Georgia, and it sounds like there was a lot of talent on hand.
Yeah, definitely. We had our inaugural preseason All-State and underclass invitational, which acts as a preseason All-State for those 22s and 23s, and we were blown away by the talent that showed up. I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah, Phil Kerber, PBR on the scene, getting all the Twitter action out there. I was following along from a distance up here in Oregon, but obviously Georgia's always packing talent, and you had some premier guys there, including a big 23 who committed not long after.
Yes, shortstop Dylan Cupp, number one ranked prospect in Georgia, number 8 overall, committed to Mississippi State less than 24 hours ago. It was a big pickup for them. He's ultra projectable, 6'1". I mean, every time we see him, we've been seeing him since last spring when he was an 8th grader. The kid just keeps getting taller and taller and taller. He probably looks like he's 6'2" now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ekes out another inch or two. And it's just long, lanky, lean. Everything comes easy to him.
Yeah, it sounds like the intangibles for him are what really pushes him forward. Real mature beyond his years, the polish there, the ability to stick at shortstop, top of the order type guy, really impressive.
Yeah, he's definitely very mature. I mean, last night, Kyle Coletta with PBR Georgia got a call from Dylan himself, letting us know that he was committing to Mississippi State and thanking us for putting on the event and everything. Just way mature beyond his age. And I haven't heard a single person say a bad thing about him. Might be one of the most well-liked kids I've ever come across. You just look at his Twitter at his announcement last night. After like 3 hours, there were like 750 likes on it. It's like, what? Everybody loves the kid. Just great kid.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to following him throughout his career as he continues to move forward, especially as he debuts as a high schooler this year. But moving on, we've got a kid out of the 2022 class, right-hander, and Hayden Murphy out of Tift Area Academy, way down there in South Georgia. Sounds like this Auburn recruit has got quite a bit of upside based on what Shooter was relaying to me.
Yeah, you might get lost trying to find where he goes to high school, but if you can make it there and you can see him pitch, it is electric. He's 6'3", 180. It's a long, lanky frame, and it's athletic. Maybe the quickest arm I've seen out of the 22 class, especially on the mound and on the infield. When he was doing defensive workout, I thought he was going to kill a first baseman because the arm action was so quick and loose that I didn't even have time to see the ball come out. I don't know how the first baseman did. Grant, a lot of them were just bailing out right away, and I don't blame them. What really sets him apart is on the mound, where he works from a 3/4 to low 3/4 slot, is up to 89 with life on it. And then he's got this sweeping breaking ball that's got depth. It's got late action to it. That's a swing and miss pitch that he was throwing for strikes. I mean, everything was for strikes. It was a really, really good bullpen.
Absolutely. South Georgia, tough kid. That two-way potential, I think, is going to really help him on the mound. Athletic. Love the way he worked last summer. Huge upside. Actually reminds me of Mick Abel, one of the 2020 arms in the 2020 class. But it's very projectable on the mound. I think he could jump even higher in the rankings before things are all said and done.
Interesting. That's certainly high praise for Hayden Murphy there, throwing a name out like Mick Abel. But also out of that 2022 class from Decatur, we've got a shortstop in Brady Jones. Obviously on the left side of the infield, he'll be paired with a big-time 2020 in Jordan Walker. But Kerber, tell us a little bit about Mr. Jones.
Yeah, so we first saw Brady over the summer with his travel ball team and stuck out for his physicality and the way he swung it and just the overall strength. And we didn't quite know what he was going to be. And then he shows up in the fall to one of our underclass showcases and is 91 across the infield, is like 90 exit velocity. You're like, holy cow, like the physicality plays. And we see him again this past weekend, looked even better. I mean, the barrel flies through the zone. It's long, easy, right through there, and just barrels the ball and looked even stronger. I mean, the kid just keeps physically developing. Was 92 across the infield, and like I was saying, it was a smaller space. I'm not sure how these first basemen were able to handle that. It was just a great arm action. I would love to see him hop on the mound. He's listed as a right-handed pitcher as a secondary position. Okay. Haven't seen him get up there, but I mean, 22 across the infield. You got to imagine he's somewhere in the upper 80s off the mound.
Yeah, putting in that work in the offseason, he's going to get a lot of experience with them. I'm sure there'll be tons of scouts watching Jordan Walker at those games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there sure will. So Brady Jones will have some early looks for himself from those guys. But out of West Forsyth, we have a right-hander in the 2022 class in Luke Fernandez. Kerber, you saw him last spring as a freshman. Sounds like he stood out then, and sounds like it's moving along well for him in terms of projection.
Yeah, last spring, West Forsyth made a trip down to the Panhandle. They played Escambia and got a chance to see him in a closer role. And you could tell he was a freshman. It was a raw delivery, just not much of a pickup, short arm action, just got it out and over the plate as quick as possible. And then we see him over the summer with Rawlings Southeast, and you could tell that things have started to clean up. He's got more of a delivery, more presence on the mound. He's up to 88, and then just snaps off this breaking ball. It's more of a 12-6 than 11-5, but it is sharp, and that thing is going to get swing and misses out of probably just about everybody in the state. I mean, it's incredible. And if you look at West Forsyth, they got Wyatt Crowell, probably the best breaking ball in the entire state.
Spin it too.
So those two guys on the mound is going to be so much fun to watch for that team.
Spin wins, Brody.
It certainly does. And Shooter, I know you're a big fan of Wyatt Crowell. So yeah, pretty good rotation there for West Forsyth. But last guy to look at from the underclass invitational before we shift our focus to the preseason all-state event, we have Stan Zagrodnik out of Buford High School, which, tell me if you've heard this before, but Buford's got some talent.
Yeah. Stan, he's probably a sleeper given the talent that Buford has. You hear Buford High School, you're thinking Dylan Lesko, Riley Stanford, Jackson Gaspard. Mm-hmm. Well, now you can also add Stan Zagrodnik to that list because this kid is athletic, just as athletic as those guys. He's a sub-7 runner. He's got arm strength from the outfield. He was 87, and he swings. He takes hacks at the plate. Just aggressive, but it's controlled aggression where you can see that he's not swinging out of his shoes or anything like that and falling over. Mm-hmm. He's got intent at the plate, and he knows what he's doing. And he was coming off at 91 off the barrel. He was impressed. He was a personal favorite of mine over the summer. I walked up to a Team Elite game and just see first pitch I see, he just turns on a ball and bangs it off the wall for a triple. I'm like, holy cow. Like, this is really good.
Mm-hmm. I'd consider him a sleeper, except that Phil Kerber PBR had a lot of Stan Zagrodnik action coming out this summer and fall. Good to see he's continuing to improve. Stan Zagrodnik is a great name, too. He sounds like he should be playing some football up in Pittsburgh or something like that, but Buford's going to be loaded again.
Yeah, it sounds like it for sure, and just keep adding to that depth that they've got in that 2022 class. But shifting now to the preseason all-state event that you also had this weekend. Quite a busy weekend for you, Curbs. But Darrell Bug, so it sounds like he's a two-way guy out of Heritage Conyers, Alabama, Birmingham recruits. It sounds like it was a good day for him.
Oh, Blazers.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We got our first look at him over the summer, and I know Sean Duncan was infatuated with the way he played because he was a kid that would hit singles, get on base, and then steal second and third in 2 pitches. The speed is incredible. He was a 6'6" runner at our event. And then he gets into the outfield, and all of a sudden it's 94, 93. And it's like, oh, boy, like the athleticism is playing everywhere. And his swing is, 95 exit velocity. And then he hops on the mound, and it's 87, and he's tossing in a curveball, slider, changeup, all for strikes. So, I mean, he has a true two-way talent there.
Rody, that sounds like a guy you might have to sneakily go see for the draft, where some of those Georgia area scouts may be sneaking their way out there and keeping him quiet.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to take a look at Heritage Conyers' schedule and see if we might be able to loop that in, but he sounds like an interesting player. But last guy to tell us about Curbs, Pope High School, another powerhouse in the state of Georgia. We got a 2021 Florida State commit in James Tibbs.
Yeah, James, this was my first look at him, and one of the best left-handed bats in the state, maybe even in the entire class of 2021. It's explosive in every which way. Kyle Coletta was the one throwing BP, and afterwards we were talking. He's like, man, like he's number 12 ranked player in the state. Like, he got up there, and you see his setup, and you're like, okay, this looks like it's a beer league softball setup. He's tall, open, it's narrow, the hands are low, but then when that pitch gets there, he's balanced and his leg, the lower half literally lifts off. Mm-hmm. Like that back leg is driving through the ball, and there's so much force in that. When he gets to Florida State, if he gets to Florida State, he's going to be pulling balls out of that park with ease.
Yeah, and it's about 290 down the line there in right field. I tweeted about that. And Tibbs has had a lot of experience as a freshman at Pope. He was getting at bats, which is really impressive. In 2018, I believe they were state champs. They were runners-up last year. Sure, they're trying to win it again here in 2020. But can really track at the plate. He's a threat to go deep at all times. Looks like the swing's coming together even more. He's had that ability to get the ball into the air with aggression and power. I'm a big Tibbs fan, and I think getting those at-bats against big-time pitchers is going to really help him.
Excellent. Well, good stuff, Curbs. We appreciate you joining us today, and we're certainly looking forward to following along throughout the spring season as you take over running PBR Georgia for us. We know that you're gonna crush it, dude.
Thanks, guys.
So, Phil Kerber, PBR.
Yeah, but for Shooter Hunt, Phil Kerber, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was Coffee and Curveballs, and until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.